For me, really, Reiki represents the summary of more than over a decade of personal growth. Put everything into one thing, into a simple modality, which is just to make it simple. And also, at the same time, all the puzzle pieces came together. The use of body, embodiment, sound, mantra, also with the Ayurveda, what I've learned, the stillness, the mind, the chakras, the concept of detachment, surrender, trust. And ultimately, it's the path to know yourself on a better level, and letting things go, and especially the simplicity, and just to focus on you, just to clean your own body and all your blockages and all your resistance, your fears, everything. You just focus on you. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another Personal Power Circle Talks with Roxane. We're going to spend some quality time here where I'm going to speak my personal truth, share and explore the messy parts of personal growth. As you get to know me, I'm a deep person, an empath, and love to reflect and contemplate about life. In this talk, I will inform you a short introduction about Reiki and my personal experience through Level 1, Shoden, Level 2, Okuden, and Level 3, Shinpiden. Last weekend, I got to deepen this beautiful modality in Reiki Master, Shinpiden. So here's a short introduction about Reiki. It is said that Reiki is a Japanese form of energy healing. I have my notes on this side. So energy healing that channels universal life to support physical and emotional and spiritual well-being, discovered by Dr. Mikao Usui. The word Reiki comes from Rei, meaning universal or spiritual wisdom, and Ki, meaning life force, or in Sanskrit it's prana, or in the traditional Chinese medicine it's Qi. Practitioners of Reiki believe this energy flows through all living things. It can be directed for healing. Reiki is not a religion or an organization, and it doesn't claim to cure. It is really an experiential practice felt both by practitioner and receiver, and healing is the byproduct. That was really like an aha moment for me, that Reiki, the focus of Reiki is not the whole healing. There's so much deeper and so much more to it. It's just only a byproduct. And it's passed through attunement regime by a qualified master. Reiki is often described as light or energy in motion, a lovingly intelligent, boundless force that harmonizes body, mind, and emotion and spirit. In a way, I experienced that as a kid, but I never knew how to express these words. So in a way, Reiki, you speak my language. So my personal experience on Shoden, as you already know, it came on my path during the time that my dad passed away, and following to those events, I experienced a full Reiki session from my friend who was a practitioner, and I could really feel the positive benefits. And it was really hard to describe since I was so vulnerable and in this whole sadness emotion. But it was just to try to describe it, I was just being held. I could just be my complete self and just really feel the emotion that I was feeling at that moment. And yeah, I knew I was not alone in a way. Also during that time, I was doing also prenatal Abhyanga massage, and a friend was doing the flow on me, and once she was at my hand and doing this swirl, I just felt this beautiful white sensation feeling, and I got so much spark and joy, and I was like, oh, I'm so curious about this. I got to learn this. So then so I joined Shoden. And so you learn the context and the history and the philosophy and also the Gokkai and the daily practices. And once that we were learning about the Gokkai, which is the 5 precepts, it just hit me so hard in a super nice way. It was so grounding for me. I really needed that at that moment. And after these 2 days of learning the theory and also embodying it while doing certain practices, you do a 21 days of self-practice where you just, in a way, get to know yourself and hands-on feeling, doing it on the 26 places of your body and noticing your body or building a relationship with your body. So I have my journal here. For the listeners who are listening on Spotify, I have my journal here, and I'm going to share my 21-day experience of level 1. Let me see. So it was back on Monday, the 28th of October, 2024. As I can see, I've split it in week by week. So 3 weeks. The first week, I summarized that I felt this intense grounding sensation and the awareness of the space of my womb. And for me, in my system, I tend to clear by yawning and exhaling. And basically, you're just actually cleaning your own body with blockages, what's going on. And also the first week, I just got to be aware of my body, where my heart is, where my liver is, where my spleen is. And yeah, just be aware of your body. And then on week 2, I still had this profound grounding feeling in my body, which I've never experienced that before in this profound way. And obviously there were sessions that I cried of the sadness, of course. And I also felt my channels were opening up. Basically, you're just actually expanding your life force. So I could feel that in a way, and I also felt the warmth, like I said, this warm blanket. And then on week 3, what I summarize, it's just like getting back to a routine. Ideally, you do these 21 days in the morning, and it's a beautiful thing to wake up to, and you always just get so much energy out of it, so much life force. Like, even though I felt really at the lowest, it just brought me energy to live and be here. So yeah, that's the breakdown of my 21 days of my experience on level 1. And yeah, it's looking back, it's so nice to read that, yeah, this grounding was so important for me. And also really feeling it in your body. Usually I was so much in my mind, of course, really in my mind, so I couldn't really feel it in my body, even though I want to feel it. And yeah, so I used to be so much in my head. And I must say, I did ayahuasca in 2023. I will tell another story about it, and that really helped me to understand the body, the mind and the body connection. That I was so much in my mind. I understood all the concepts, of course, but I just couldn't embody it. And just to look back at this experience for me, like this groundingness and just feeling in your body. It felt so good, and just that you're being held, you can hold yourself. Okay, and now, so in level 2, you then get introduced to the 3 sacred symbols and go deepen more about what the meaning is about the 5 kokai. And again, you do this 21 days experience on yourself. And then after Reiki level 2, you can start to help people or give Reiki to other people, even to plants or to pets. So that's really cool. So my experience, so that was on Monday, the 9th of December, 2024. And the first week I summarized 2 times headache. I never get that. And again, this grounding and neutral space. So I'm a person that normally never, ever, ever get a headache. And this time I got 2 headaches. And the old Roxane would have been in the victim mode, like, this headache is annoying. I wanna get rid of it. But as I know about this whole idea of leaning into your discomfort, and also knowing that I'm doing this Reiki on myself, it just passed away, and it's kind of like growing pains, but in a good way. So I knew, like, there's no point of resisting it, just lean into it, and then eventually it was gone. And again, this profound grounding feeling and this neutral space, like, yeah, also in my other meditations, that I'm just in this stillness with no thoughts, just like this pure stillness or neutral. That's how I say it. And obviously I did during the flow a lot of yawns and exhaling. Just a lot of yawning and clearing my blockages and cleaning the body. And then in week 2, I just experienced this clear, warm, white sensation. It felt so fresh and light. And also another one is this clear insight, or my intuition. And that was so nice because at the end of the day, you carry your own wisdom, and if you just follow your intuition, then you are held. So that was really amazing that you can just get that, not get that, but just to explore that for myself. Obviously, this is just my own experience. Everyone has their own experiences, but it's really nice to experience this. And also, back to the intuition, I remember it was not during the 21 days of this, but just once during the Ayurveda studies, we did this internship in India, and I was rooming with a friend, and in the morning I would do also this Reiki on myself. And during that morning Reiki, my intuition was saying so clearly, since my roommate also lost her dad, this intuition told me, since we're in this environment with a lot of banana trees and coconut trees, and I was sharing this insight to my friend, that we should remember or take a moment to remember our dads. And I was sharing that I have this vivid memory of my dad and I talking to a banana tree and having a moment like, why aren't you producing bananas? And then she had this exact same sort of similar memory with a tree, but then with coconut. trees. So that was really cool. So then eventually we together went to those 2 trees and took a moment to remember our dads. So that was really a beautiful moment experience, and that is just by listening to your intuition. It's just like small gifts. Anyway, so the 3rd week, I just really experienced this neutral state, or this stillness, or this meditative state, or just like this peace, relaxed, super relaxed, and just in this silent void, in this no thoughts. And I could just also feel this white sensation. So that's the experience. It's so cool. And I guess for me, it really validated that, you can reach to your own intuition and just lead by your own intuition. And you are the person that knows it, no one else, and just lead by that. And ultimately, Reiki is really for yourself. It's just to get to know yourself in a deeper way, and it's such a beautiful journey. So let's move on to a short history of Usui Makiko Reiki. So Dr. Mikao Usui was born in 1865 and died in 1926. He was a Japanese spiritual teacher who developed this method of energy healing known as Reiki, which means spiritual energy or universal life force energy. And it was around 1922 when Usui experienced a profound spiritual awakening while meditating on Mount Kurama near Kyoto. And it was actually in the 21 days he did this meditation on this mountain. And following this enlightenment, he discovered that he could channel healing energy through his hands. He began teaching and practicing this healing method, which he called Usui Reiki Yokoho, so Usui's spiritual energy healing method. And really, Usui's approach of this focus is really about your own spiritual growth and inner peace, your inner landscapes, going through the daily practices. And it's not just physical healing, but really discipline, and just be honest with yourself that you're doing these practices. And these 5 Reiki precepts, Gokai, or you can say also mantra, which really helps you to be mindful and focus and have compassion. And like I said, it just, the moment that I recited these 5 precepts, it was so grounding to me, and it really resonated. And then the 3rd one, it's the system of attunements, Reiju, to help others to connect to Reiki energy. And after his passing in 1926, his students, particularly Shugu Reoro Hahushi, continued to teach and refine the system. Hahushi later trained Havaya Takato, who brought Reiki to Hawaii and Western world in the 1930s. So and now, and the level 3, the master level, Shinpiden. So I just completed this year in 2025, because then after level 2 you can just explore, and I really tried out on friends and families, and it brings me so much joy to be of service and see people's natural state and see the before and after. It just fulfills me with nourishment and joy that there was that I had to complete master level. And this last weekend, I just got attuned for the master, and I'm starting to do the 21 days. I'm curious for the unfolding. And really the master is so the level 1 and 2 was really doing Reiki, and master is an invitation of being Reiki. It's just to embody it. And yeah, obviously, you know, it's really embodiment, like what you heard about my 21 days in level 1 and 2. It's really, yeah, experiential of your way, how you're experiencing it. And like I said in the beginning, Reiki is an experiential practice felt by both practitioner and receiver. And the healing is just the byproduct. That's not the focus. And for me, really, Reiki represents the summary of more than over a decade of personal growth. Put everything into one thing, into a simple modality, which is just to make it simple. And also at the same time, all the puzzle pieces came together. The use of body, embodiment, sound, mantra, also with the Ayurveda, what I've learned, the stillness, the mind, the chakras, the concept of detachment, surrender, trust. And ultimately, it's the path to know yourself on a better level, and letting things go, and especially the simplicity, you know, and just to focus on you, just to clean your own body and all your blockages and all your resistance, your fears, everything. You just focus on you, and once you reach the master, it's just the beginning, and it's an ongoing process, and it's just deepening and evolving yourself constantly. And I'm really honored to share a Reiki, and I'm really honored to share Reiki and to serve people. Reiki supported my grief process and so much more. And I'm calling in 3 people who wants to experience an in-person Reiki session with me in Amsterdam. Experience your natural state. My website is live. Book your session at personalpowercircle.com. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I share wisdom nuggets, and ultimately, you have the power in yourself and the wisdom. It is just a dance with your mind and asking powerful questions to yourself. What am I attached to? If you have reached this far, I appreciate you. You are enough, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.